Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Michelle from Scoblicky Scientist, and today's program is called I Love You to the Moon. And I'm here with my friend, the hamster, and he's ready to go into outer space. How about you, friends? Would you like to explore the solar system with me? Awesome! Let's get started. Okay, friends, so today our science program is all about the solar system. Can you say solar system? Do you know what our solar system is made up of? If you said the sun and all of the planets that move around it, you are right. We have our sun and our moon and our planets. And how many of you know how many planets we have? Can you hold it up on your fingers? If you said 8 planets, you're right. Great job. So let's get to know some of our planets. Our first planet. Here's a model of it. Closest to our sun. Does anyone know what the first planet is? Well, if you said Mercury, you're right. Mercury is our first planet. It is actually the smallest planet, and it is closest to the sun. It goes around the sun so super fast that it is only 88 Earth days long for 1 year. It's a really rocky planet with lots of craters and volcanoes. It's very hot in the daytime, but it's freezing there at night. One more time, can you say Mercury? Excellent. Let's check out planet number 2. Boys and girls, does anyone know what our second planet from the sun is called? Can you say Venus? Great job. Venus is our second planet closest to the sun. Its atmosphere is full of really thick clouds, which can hold in the heat. And in fact, it makes it the hottest planet. It can get up to 870 degrees. Oh my goodness. At Venus, the weather is always the same. It's hot, dry, and windy with no chance of rain. One more time, friends. Can you say Venus? Excellent. Let's head over to our third planet. Does anyone know what that planet is? I'll give you a clue. It's home to you and I. That's right. It's our planet, Earth. Can you say Earth? Great job. Well, Earth is the third planet from the sun. It is our home. In fact, it's the only planet where people, plants, and animals can survive. Most of the Earth is covered with water, and the Earth revolves around the sun. Did you know that the Earth is always moving, friends? But we don't feel the Earth moving. It takes us 1 year to go all the way around the sun. That's 365 days in a year. The Earth rotates as it moves. When one part of the planet is facing the sun, the other part faces away. Do you know what that creates? That's right, daytime and nighttime. Do you know how many hours are in one day? If you said 24 hours, you got it. Does anyone know why we have seasons? Well, we get hotter weather when more of the sun's rays are reaching us, and we have more hours of daylight. So as the Earth moves, we have 4 seasons. Does anyone know what those seasons are? We have winter, spring, summer, and fall. Excellent. Who's ready to venture on over to planet number 4? Can anyone guess what it is? I'll give you a clue. It's this color. If you said Mars, you're right. Mars is also known as the red planet. It's actually the most like Earth. It has mountains and deserts and volcanoes. It kind of looks like a real dry, dusty desert. but it doesn't have a lot of oxygen, so it's hard to breathe on Mars. It is nicknamed the red planet because it has lots of red-colored, rusty iron soil on Mars. We've been doing a lot more research lately to see if life can exist on Mars. So one more time, planet number 4, everyone say Mars. Let's head out to planet number 5. Does anyone know what the 5th planet is called? I'll give you a clue. It's really big. If you said Jupiter, you got it. Jupiter is actually the largest planet in our solar system. It is so big, friends, that all of the other planets could fit inside of it. It is known as a gas giant because it does not have any solid ground on the planet. It's just a giant ball of hot gases with a very hot liquid center. And this is our largest planet. One more time, can we say Jupiter? Great job. Well, let's head over to our 6th planet. And here it is. What do you notice about this planet? That's right, it's got some amazing rings around it. Our 6th planet is called Saturn. Can you say Saturn? Saturn is actually our 2nd largest planet, and it's got big rings that are made of ice and dust and rock. 1 year on Saturn is equal to 30 years on Earth. Pretty cool, right? Check out the rings. And one more time, everyone say Saturn. Let's check out our 7th planet. Does anyone know what this one is called? If you said Uranus, you're right. It actually doesn't have a solid surface. It's made mostly of gas. So if we tried to stand on it, you would fall right through because it's just thick layers of clouds and gas. And it's a very cold planet. It just kind of rolls around like a bowling ball. And that's it. That's planet number 7. Can you say Uranus? Excellent. It's time to head over to our final planet, planet number 9. Can you guess what our 9th planet is called? If you said Neptune, give yourself a pat on the back. We are at our farthest planet from the sun and the coldest in the solar system, our 8th planet, where winds can blow up to 1,500 miles per hour. Great job. Now, we used to have a 9th planet, friends, but scientists think that it's way too small to be considered a planet anymore. Do you know what this one is called? If you said Pluto, you're right. We used to think that we had 9 planets, but then they decided that Pluto was really a dwarf planet. Can you say Pluto? Good job. Well, now, let's check out our moon. Can you say moon, friends? Do you look up in the sky at night and see the moon? The moon is actually 240,000 miles away from our Earth. But it looks so close, doesn't it? Its surface is gray and rocky, and there's no water, no air, and no wind on the moon. And the moon's gravity is much weaker than here on Earth, so you weigh less when you're on the moon. In 1969, Neil Armstrong was the first astronaut to walk on our moon. Will you be checking out the sky tonight to see what the moon looks like? And now we can't forget a very important part of our solar system. If you said the sun, you got it. Boys and girls, is the sun a star? What do you think? The sun actually is a star, like all other stars in the sky. Is it the biggest star? Mm-mm. It just looks bigger and brighter because it is much closer to our Earth. The sun is actually 93 million miles away from Earth, and it would take over 1 million Earths to fit inside of the sun. The center of the sun is called its core. It is like a big giant fiery furnace. And since the sun is just a ball of gas, the surface is not solid like here on Earth. It's always changing, kind of like a pot of boiling water on the sun. It takes only about 8 minutes for the sun's heat and light to reach the Earth. Without the sun, would we have plants or animals? In fact, without the sun, there would be no life on Earth at all. Is the sun very important to us, friends? It sure is. It helps us to survive. How many of you have ever wanted to see the planets? Do you know what you can use to see them? Can you say telescope? Does anyone have a telescope at home? A telescope is a special type of scientific instrument that helps us to see faraway objects, and we can see them as if they're up close, like planets and stars. Does anyone out there have a telescope at home? I hope you'll check it out. How many of you would like to study the planets and the stars? Do you know what we call the person who does that? A person who studies the planets, stars, and moon is called an astronomer. Can you say astronomer? How many of you would like to become an astronomer one day? That's great. And an astronomer also can study the stars. Who likes to watch the stars in the sky on a clear night? I know I do. Have you ever seen a group of stars? Like the Big Dipper or Orion's Belt? Do you know what that's called? That's called a constellation. Can you say it with me? Constellation are those big groups of stars that we see in the sky at night. And just like my friend the hamster, he has a really cool job. He gets to travel into outer space, and he's called an astronaut. Can you say astronaut? Would any of you like to become an astronaut and travel into space one day? That's amazing. Well, now that we have learned all of our 8 planets plus our dwarf planet, Pluto, I have a funny way that we can remember all of the names of the planets. Are you ready, friends? We can say, my very eager mother just served us 9 pickles. That's very silly, isn't it? Let's try it one more time. My very eager mother just served us 9 pickles. Do you remember the planets? Say it with me. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and finally our dwarf friend, Pluto. Here's a map of our solar system. As you can see, all of the planets revolve around the sun, right? The sun is at the center of our solar system. And it's so important because without the sun, we wouldn't have plants or animals or life here on Earth. And here are all our planets again. Here's Mercury and Venus, Earth and Mars, Jupiter and Saturn with its rings, Uranus and Neptune, and finally way out here, our dwarf planet, Pluto. Boys and girls, I hope you have enjoyed learning all of the planets and finding out some interesting facts about them. And now when we come back, we're going to create an amazing rocket craft. I'll see you in a few. Hi boys and girls, I am back and I'm ready to create our amazing rocket craft. Now this is something that you can design and you can give to someone special. So let's begin with our first item that we're going to need. I'm using a piece of black cardboard. cardstock. So if you have one sheet of black cardstock or black construction paper, that is going to be used for our background. So go ahead and grab that. You are also going to need a sheet of plain white paper. And then we're going to need some different color construction paper. You're going to need some green paper. You are going to need some red paper. You will need some orange construction paper. You will also need some yellow construction paper and a sheet of blue construction paper for your rocket. Finally, you're going to need just a small piece of tin foil. You have some tin foil at home. You are also going to need a safety scissor to cut out your pieces. You will need a marker. Black marker will work. And you're also going to need some glue to glue down and adhere all of your pieces together. I like to use the Elmer's glue stick, but you could also use some school glue or craft glue. That will work. And finally, for the last part of our solar system rocket, I am going to use some little decorative star stickers. These are totally optional, friends, but if you have some cute little star-shaped stickers at home, or foil stickers, or any of those that you want to use to embellish your projects, you can go ahead and grab those too. Now, if you don't have star stickers at home, you can go ahead and grab some crayons and you can draw stars onto your picture as well. So let's get started, friends. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with that big black sheet of paper, and this is going to represent the dark sky of our solar system, friends. So we're going to be working with this. And now what I need you to do is find a piece of white paper, and what you're going to do with your grown-up is we're just cutting sort of a half of a semicircle here. Do you see that? We're going to cut that out with our scissors so that it fits in the top corner of our paper, just like the moon, all right? So go ahead and take your safety scissor, and we're just going to cut, okay, one part of the moon that we're going to be adhering to the upper left corner of our picture. Now, once you have cut out your moon, you can go ahead and grab your glue stick, and you can go ahead and rub the glue on it really good. And we're going to go ahead and just glue that down onto our paper. Again, the moon is going to be up high in the corner. And as soon as I finish putting glue on mine, I'm going to hold it up and model that for you. So here we go. And we want to just press it down, rub it, rub it, rub it, use those muscles. Okay. So, I have my moon right up in the sky, and now we are ready to start to put together our rocket ship. So what we're going to do first, friends, is take your blue construction paper, and I'm just going to cut out a rocket shape. It doesn't have to look exactly like Miss Michelle's. We know that a rocket sort of has a pointy top, right? And sides that are the same, a flat bottom. All right, and I'm using the blue for this. Again, just cutting it sort of like a little torpedo shape. All right, using our blue. So once you have gone and cut that out, you can put that piece down. And then I'm going to ask you to grab your green construction paper. And what I'm doing with the green, and your grown-up can help you, is I'm going to trace the top of my blue rocket so that it fits, but I'm just cutting the top of it off because this is going to be the top of my rocket. Do you see that? So we're using the same shape as the top of our blue rocket, but we're just cutting a little piece to make the top of our rocket using green. And once you match it up like a puzzle and you have the tip of your rocket, you can take your glue stick and you can go ahead and glue that onto the top of your rocket now. So grab your glue and we can press it down. Does yours look just like mine? Awesome job. So we have the top of our rocket in green and the base of our rocket in blue. And now what you're going to do is just grab that yellow. Grab your yellow construction paper, friends. And all I want you to do is cut a tiny strip of paper, just like this, that is going to be the top of our rocket. Do you see that? So we're going to cut a thin yellow rectangle that we're going to put very closely to the top of our rocket. And you can grab your glue once you've cut that, and you could add that little strip right onto the green to finish the top of your rocket. And press it down. And it should look like this so far. Can you hold yours up out there? Looking great. All right. So the next thing I want you to do is take your black construction paper, and we're going to just cut out a small black circle. Can you do that? That looks like this. All right. So you can use the lid of a jar or a big coin you might have at home, and your grown-up can trace a circle for you. And we're just going to take a black circle. All right. And then using your piece of tin foil at home, you're then going to cut another circle using the tin foil, just a little bit smaller than your black circle. Because get ready, once you cut that second circle out of tin foil, we're going to take the tin foil circle and glue it on to the black circle. So it looks like this. So you've got your black construction paper circle with your slightly smaller tin foil circle in the center, because this is going to be very important to glue onto our rocket next. So once you've cut that, I want you to take your glue stick and you're going to rub that right in the center of your rocket, and you're just going to glue on that little window we just made, and I'll show you how it looks. Really press it down. All right, friends? And here we go. So we've got that little window in our rocket. All right, so once we've got that done, now we need the base of our rocket. So taking our green construction paper, we're just gonna measure the bottom of our rocket. And do you see how it kind of makes a little fin at the bottom? So it looks kind of like a mermaid's tail, friends. We're going to take a small piece of green construction paper, and then we're going to go ahead and glue that onto the bottom of our rocket. So it looks like that. Did you do that at home? Excellent. All right, so we're looking good. Now we know whenever we watch a rocket launch, it's shooting out fire, right? So using our red and orange, I want you to just cut out some flames. It can be any shape you want. Just kind of cutting out some big zigzags out of the red paper, and then using your orange paper, again, cutting out those zigzags in any shape you want, but just a little bit smaller than the red. What we're going to do is we're going to take the orange and glue it on top of the red to make some fire. Looking good, friends. Okay, so we've got those big red fiery zigzags and that smaller orange fiery zigzag, and then we're just going to take this and we're going to be gluing it at the base of the rocket, because we know that the rocket shoots flames as it's launching. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on. Make sure you're pressing it down really good. And then I'm going to take my whole rocket ship and I'm going to put glue all over the back of it now, friends. Go ahead and do that. Lots and lots of glue. On the base and on the fins. Okay, so press that on my rocket ship. And now the last part that we need to add onto our rocket are the fins that we have on either side of our rocket ship. So taking our yellow piece of paper, I just cut out 2 fins. So if you fold your paper in half and cut out one shape, you'll have exact matches, right? And then once you take these 2 fins, you're going to glue one on either side of your rocket ship. So I'm just going to put some glue on each side. This is looking amazing, friends. And then I'm going to glue the second fin on the opposite side. And I'll hold that up to show you. So as you can see, what we have here is we have our moon way up in the upper left corner. We have our blue rocket ship. We have the green top of our rocket ship, that's sort of the cap, with just that little piece of yellow rectangle that we're using to separate the base from the top of our rocket. We have our 2 yellow wings here of our rocket, one on each side. We have the green fin down here at the base of the rocket. And then we just have our flames, our red and orange flames. Again, any zigzag shape you like, coming out of the bottom of the rocket because we know it's taking off into outer space. And finally, we're going to grab those stars, friends. So I am going to use some of my star stickers. But again, if you don't have star stickers, no worries. You can just grab a white crayon if you have at home, or a yellow crayon, or a gold crayon, and you can draw some stars onto yours. Right? Maybe you want to form a constellation. So go ahead and put those stars on. Looking great. I'm just going to add a few onto mine, and I'll hold that up. Do you see that? So we've got lots of beautiful stars in my solar system. And now for the finishing touch. If you wanted to give this beautiful rocket ship to someone special, friends, that you love to the moon, you can ask your grown-up to help you, and you can write, "I love you" to the moon, right there on the top. And you can make it to someone special. You can include whatever you want up in the moon. All right, so you can write something special, or if you just want to design your moon, you can just draw little craters, right, like we talked about in the moon. All right, friends, so this looks amazing. You did a great job today learning all about the planets in our solar system, the moon and the sun, and I hope you had fun creating your rocket ship craft today. Until next time, friends, keep learning and keep smiling. Great job, everyone.